Hi, I wanted to make this video while I still can. I'm just kidding. I'm having a great time. But I wanted to show you and tell you, whoever's watching and listening to this, I've got notebooks I have filled up basically with stuff I've been presumably I thought figuring out about life, and I got a thesis about the pyramids here. I taught myself how to divine a specific way if I ever want to get into divining. I'm sure you can pause the video and zoom in on this stuff. And I literally have multiple notebooks of stuff, some more filled up than others, of years of stuff I've been figuring out about the world. And I'm going to give you a quick demonstration of some of the stuff. Some of it's, you find as interesting as you want. Check this out. Instead of using a big magnet for making a speaker work, we all see the big magnets on the end of speakers, the woofers and stuff. You could probably use an electromagnet. And then not only would it push one way, it could also pull. And you'd have like an ultimate speaker if you had like an electromagnetic speaker. That was an idea I had recently. I can demonstrate to you why karma doesn't work. This is why karma doesn't work. If someone steals something from you and is very disappointed with what they stole, why should the person or people they stole from be due up for disappointment? Wouldn't this be considered a negative loophole in your obvious bullshit way of using or invoking karma? This is why karma doesn't work and is not the answer to your perfect world idea. So if, let's say someone tries to steal something from you, or does steal something from you maybe, and they're not happy with what they stole. Well then karma is going to be like, why are the people who got something stolen from now due up for disappointment or whatever the robber felt? Karma's not working here, is it? If someone steals something from you and is very disappointed with what they stole, that's not fair, is it? So that's like my bullshit on karma. That's me saying bullshit with karma. Karma's not working there, is it? I'm pretty sure I figured out what the pyramids actually are. You see, when I was researching color spectrums, I overlapped the visual color spectrum in nanometers over a chart of all the Great Pyramids. And it turns out they lined up really well. And then with a little bit more research, it turned out that the pyramids represent specific colors and intensities by using the height and width of a pyramid and transforming the width from meters to nanometers, with yellow roughly being the middle, 575 nanometers. The height of the pyramid is the intensity of light, and the further you go up in the atmosphere, the more intense it can become. So you can go beyond 100% intensity by simply moving up in the atmosphere, because if you go up into outer space, the light spectrum or the electromagnetic spectrum becomes huge compared to what it is on the surface of the Earth. So you follow the pyramids, and some of the pyramids are even named the Moon Pyramid or the Sun Pyramid. Like, it's obvious once I give you this information. Notice how the pyramid is showing the most intense light. The Giza Pyramid is showing the most intense light because it's the tallest pyramid. But the widest pyramid is the Pyramid of Cholula. Cholula has the widest base of 450 meters, or 450 nanometers if you convert it in the color scale. This encompasses almost the entirety of the color spectrum, the visual color spectrum. And remember, the visual color spectrum is just part of the overall electromagnetic spectrum, which includes radio waves, X-rays, gamma rays, like all the rays. So remember that when you're playing your PlayStation and your controller is magically, wirelessly working your PlayStation, guess what your controller is probably shooting out? It's not shooting out color spectrum, that's for sure. And it's not shooting out UVA or UVB because I've tested it. And those things cut through walls like no problem. Yeah, your X-ray, your Xbox or PlayStation controller is probably shooting out X-rays or maybe even gamma rays. So, yeah, they're lying to us about everything. And I'm 99% sure that anything that glows in the dark is actually radioactive. They're lying to us about the whole radioactive thing. But anyway, so this is my thesis on the pyramids. And there's a way to map color in 3 dimension that I found simply online. You can easily map color in 3 dimensions. So when you figure out exactly what the pyramids represent, the color spectrum, because look how big the pyramids are. Because there are literally like an infinite number of colors and intensities and transparencies that can be made. So the pyramids were probably made so huge because they wanted to tell us a very, very specific color spectrum, transparency, and intensity. And when you put all 3 together, how transparent the light is, or how opaque it is, how intense it is, and what color it is, then it's probably, the pyramids are probably telling us a very, very specific light. You know, whether it's like a green light or a white one or whatever. And don't forget about the ultraviolet light. And then what happens when you make this very specific light that the pyramids are telling us and showing us? And of course, we cannot even make light the way they need us to until our civilization reaches a certain point. That point being LED lighting. With LED lighting, we can make these specific colors that the pyramids are telling us to make. And then when we make that flashlight or light bulb, you're probably going to want to look at it. And then when you look at it long enough, it could be seconds, it could be minutes, your soul itself might be transported out of your body into an identical body, but you know, you might be transported somewhere and not even know it. That's how amazing this all is. It's like your eyes are the windows to your soul, and if we're actually future android robots, our souls are just software, and by looking at one of these lights, your soul might be transported somewhere. That's how amazing this all is. Because, you know, we could be literally hundreds of years in the past made to believe that, you know, the future is out there. Well, the future is now. We're actually all, you know, synthetic robots, which means our souls are uploadable and downloadable. And here, the pyramids are telling us exactly where to upload and download them to. These color spectrums that are all over the world. And I figured that out accidentally while I was researching something else. Isn't that amazing? And then divining, you know, divining is like seeing into the future or talking to the future. I mean, divining is like a way of talking to the future and or the past. And I accidentally figured out a way to do that just by simply sounding out numbers and then breaking them down into, you know, 1, O, you know, 1, 0, O, oni. And then I just like sounded it out and started making up words, and it ended up being like a sentence. It ended up being like, I ended up coming up with like a whole thing here. So anyway, that's a whole nother thing. I got like notebooks about this stuff, but all this stuff, I mean, notebooks of just stuff. And then tonight, what I realized is this. This is what I wrote. It's all a lie. Because everything, it turns out, because remember the pyramids and the color spectrums and our eyes, our windows to the soul and blah, blah, blah. It's all a lie. Okay? It all has to do with our eyes, period. They try to trap air bubbles underneath your eyelid. Depending on the size and placement of air bubble will cause different effects to the physical body. Examples, you might get a headache, you might get lack of breathing, you might get digestive problems and pain. But usually, most often, what they do with this, trapping air bubbles underneath your eyes, is it puts you to sleep. Good old regular sleep. You know when you get sleepy and you're like, oh, it's time to go to bed. Well, what they've done is throughout the day or at some point in the evening time, they trap just a tiny, tiny little bit of air underneath one or both your eyelids. in a way that causes you to fall asleep. Like, you get sleepy. You know, if it feels good too, right? That's awesome. But that's what they're doing. And I figured this out because I think they were trying to put me to sleep in a way that maybe I wouldn't wake up from. Or something, you know, but it didn't work, did it? So you can get rid of these air bubbles by simply holding your eyelid open a little bit or rubbing on your eyes a little bit. And you can hear the air bubbles popping out of your eyelids. And it's amazing. And it might keep doing it, and you gotta keep releasing those air bubbles. And you'll beat them. You'll beat them like Neo beats the agents on the Matrix. You'll just end up beating them, and you won't go to sleep. Okay? So, good luck with that. I've done that, and I won. I've been up for quite a while now, and I feel great. So, that's where I'm at with everything. Pretty much saying that, yes, we are actually robots. But also, so are the plants, the animals, and everything around us could literally be some sort of computer software program. Because when technology reaches a certain point, it is all magic. When technology reaches a certain point that we've all seen in movies, it is basically magic. It's just the mind. Right? It's just technology is allowing the mind to do anything. That's what I've learned with all this science fiction, is that technology just tells your mind, hey, it's okay to do this. That's all it is. Technology just trains your mind to accept a new reality. And the more fantastic the technology is, the more fantastic your mind is. It's just cause and effect, effect and cause, however you want to look at it. It's all just amazing, and I wish you luck and the best of everything. Thank you. I love you.